We are here today with Jimmy Patton, who is a CPA, and he's with Patton Associates in Blacksburg, Virginia. And he's just going to tell us a little bit about his career and what he does every day. And we thank you so much for being here today with us, Jimmy. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
So, Jimmy, as a CPA, and I know you probably have many roles there at Patton Associates, what does a typical day look like for you?
Well, so CPA is certified public accountant, and you deal with the public, and we have about 1,300 clients, and so there's no real typical day because no one has the same situation. So I will deal, for example, with you with a question that you have that's particular to your situation, and then someone else will come in or call. They have a completely different issue to deal with. So there's no real typical day, but if I could describe basically what I do is I'd say each day there's a little bit of working on my own business, whatever that is, payroll or analysis of what's happening. Um, there's quite a bit of talking or helping clients with the particular advice they need, and then there's a certain amount of actual work of doing or reviewing tax returns or financial statements or doing a fraud investigation or whatever it is that we have that day.
So, what led you to this career path? Did you always know you wanted to do something like this? Were you just really good with math and numbers? Or
Uh,
I think a CPA, I think lots of numbers.
it is a lot of numbers, but it's not math like algebra type math. Um, what really got me started was I didn't go to college directly out of high school. And so after I had uh, seen the world a little bit, I realized I needed to go to college and do something. And the interest areas that I had and the area in which we live, some of those didn't match up. And accounting was an interest area that combined several of those things like economics, finance, accounting, um, with fraud examination, a little bit of psychology, a little bit uh, investigation for like audits or fraud examination. So it was really just a combination of the things that I liked to do and what was available where I lived.
So, for students that are interested in some type of field like this, what kind of background do they need? What kind of schooling and things like that would they need to go through?
Well, there's a lot of different kind of jobs that come from an accounting degree. You can be an accountant in a company. You can be actually FBI looks for people with accounting backgrounds because so much of what they do is tracing funds or fraud. Um, but in general, you need an accounting degree, and to be a CPA, you need 150 hours of college, which is generally 5 years of accounting. You can be an accountant with you can be an accountant with no college degree, but generally you need a 2 or 4 year degree to be an accountant. And then if you want to be a certified public accountant, you'll have to take this CPA exam, and a requirement of that is 150 hours of college.
Okay, that's good to know. So, in your line of work, what's the most challenging thing? I know there's probably lots of challenges. What would you tell students would be the most challenging thing about being in this field?
I would say probably two things. We have in public accounting, like I was telling you before, you have different people. Not everybody just calls and says, "Hey, I've got a job. Do I get taxed on that money?" In fact, nobody ever calls about that. But one person might call about a rental property they have. The next person might call about someone's embezzled money from their business. The next person might call about investments that they have. And so the most challenging thing is probably that you have to switch quickly from person to person. You've got to be able to process information quickly. so that you can, someone calls you, they don't want you to go on a 4-day research project to give them the answer. Sometimes you have to do that because it's such a weird issue. And then the other thing I would probably say is, not everyone is an accountant. And so the people you deal with, you have to be able to communicate the information that you know to them in a way that they will understand. And so if you asked me something about tax and I started just talking tax law code sections, it would mean nothing to you. You wouldn't get anything out of it. And so you just have to be able to communicate the information you have in a way that someone else will find it useful. So those are probably the two hardest things.
Right. I thought you would say tax season.
Tax season can be rough. Yeah.
I would say so. So for students, tell them a little bit about the rewarding aspects of your career.
Yeah. For me, the thing that I was telling you before about it's never the same. For me, that's rewarding because I would not like to come in and put little numbers in little boxes all day long and that's all I do. So I kind of enjoy, when someone calls me that's different than what I usually do, and I either have to research it or make a projection for it or plan for it or figure out some type of way that they can creatively handle a situation. That's my favorite part. I also I'm a certified fraud examiner also, so I like to do that kind of work.
I think that would be interesting for sure.
See a lot.
So it's definitely a job where it's something different every day, not the same old when you come into the office. There's probably new challenges every day, something different.
Right.
So do you have any advice for high school students today, whether they want to pursue a career in accounting or maybe just advice in general for high school students?
Yeah, really for any career that they're thinking about, I think, I think you just have to be honest with yourself about what you like and the reason you're getting into a job, because I'm just telling you, if you don't go into it with your eyes open, and if you don't like it, you're not going to do well in it, or you're not going to stay in it long. And so I think as for accounting in particular, I would say just look at it, look at the pay, look at the requirements, be honest with yourself about the things that you like to do or want to do. And then if that's what you choose, then I think probably what you need to do, and I would say this about any profession, is realize when I went back to college, I decided that my job started that day, because at some point someone's going to hire me, and the only thing on my resume when I'm coming out of college is what I did in college or in high school. And so in order to get that job and do well at it, I realized I had to learn as much as I possibly could. And so that's the approach I took. That's what I tell my kids, is to start, your job starts now. Basically.
I think that's great advice. Very good. We appreciate you sharing a little bit about yourself and your career. We appreciate you very much. Thank you for taking the time to join us today.
You're welcome.